Can Be Well presents Bioenergetic Essentials book launch. We're here with the Can Be Well members and Choose Love Canadian ambassadors, Tanya Levy, Paula Nowak-Droog, Natasha Polomsky, and Michelle Greenwell. This is the first time for an event like this, a book launch. We have many talented members at Can Be Well. We are a progressive group of wellness ambassadors with creative talents and publications. We're honored that our presentation committee took the initiative to create products to support initiatives for our association to move forward. We look forward to sharing this launch with guests from the Choose Love movement. This is a pre-recorded webinar provided for the public by Can Be Well and the presentation committee. We will begin this event by acknowledging that we are meeting on Aboriginal land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. As settlers, we're grateful for the opportunity to meet here, and we thank all the generations of people who've been taking care of this land for thousands of years. I would like to acknowledge that Tanya, Michelle, and Natasha reside in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, and this territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship which the Mi'kmaq and the Maliseet people first signed with the British Crown in 1725. And we're coming to you from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, known as Unama'ki. Paula is in St. Mary's, Ontario in Perth County, and she is in the traditional territory of the Shabanavic, the Iroquois, Ojibwe, and the Chippewa peoples. This territory is covered by the Upper Canada Treaties. Our vision and mission: creating a world where the many bioenergetic wellness disciplines and modalities are recognized, valued, and utilized as people make choices to improve their quality of life. And as champions of personal choice in health and wellness, our members work together encouraging ongoing professional development in the field of bioenergetic wellness to better provide services and education to the public. We're here to support you, your friends, your family, your colleagues, in self-care and in personal well-being. You can choose to take in our webinars, workshops, community outreach programs, and this year we have a spectacular Shift into Wellness Summit that is going to bring education from a beginner's level all the way through to a more advanced level. And we love for you to be a part of that. A Can Be Well membership supports our many programs as we connect, learn, create, and advocate. All our social media, you can find at Linktree, Can Be Well, and you can follow our public blog posts at canbewell.org. And if you visit our website, you'll be able to sign up for those so they come directly to your inbox. Let's take us to the presenters. Tonight, we have four very talented people. Tanya Levy is a counselor at Nova Scotia Community College. She's trained in therapeutic touch and touch for health and is an interactive artist. The artwork that you're looking at to the left of the slide here is some of the artwork that Tanya does, and it's spectacular how she can take nature and transform it. Paula Nowak-Droog is an educator, is trained in Eden Energy Method, therapeutic touch, is a touch for health instructor, brain gym instructor, and she's currently studying compassionate inquiry with Dr. Gabor Mate. Michelle Greenwell is working on her doctoral dissertation in integrative health. It's focused on manual biofeedback and its relationship to personalized self-care. She is a Touch for Health instructor, therapeutic touch instructor, an author and program developer with a focus on movement for wellness. Then Natasha Polomsky is working on her master's thesis in bioenergetic wellness and awareness. Originally trained in Ayurvedic techniques, she's trained in Touch for Health, is a therapeutic touch instructor, is a co-creator with Michelle for raising bioenergetic awareness, and is passionate about healing with sound. Our presenter contacts are listed here. Each of them has all their social media as well as resources in their Linktree connections. Paula, you will find at Learning Infinite Possibilities. Tanya is at Heart Lady Inspiration. Michelle is at Dance Debut, and Natasha is at Turn Up the Frequency. Our upcoming events: next week, August 24th, we have Brain Fitness with Jill Hewlett. Last week, we had the initiation of It's in the Cards, and that webinar is now posted up on our YouTube channel, Can Be Well. We also have pre-summit webinars for members and summit registrants that are coming up September and October. And then we launch into a 3-part series starting in November for our Shifting into Wellness. And again, this is the place to be if you want to learn anything new about bioenergetic wellness and where the science and the research is taking us into the future. Welcome to our book launch. Bioenergetic Essentials is a collaborative effort to create an introduction to the many different disciplines that are on part of our umbrella organization at Can Be Well, the Canadian Association of Bioenergetic Wellness. And we're very happy to be here to be sharing this book with you today.
And this is just an example of some of the tools in our book, and we're launching this also as part of International Youth Day.
We'd just like to introduce you to the members of our team here. And we have Natasha Polomsky, Michelle Greenwell, and Tanya Levy, and myself, Paula Nowak-Droog. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Natasha, who is a bioenergetic wellness facilitator. And her passion is to assist others in raising their frequency to a more vibrant life. Her primary tools are sound, vibration, intention, and bioenergetic wellness tools from trained disciplines. And Michelle has a variety of disciplines as well, and her passion is to use movement to heal the body, share the power of manual biofeedback through muscle monitoring and awareness, and share tools to energize and create vitality daily. And Tanya's passion is to support each individual in their healing journey through counseling, inspirational photography, healing art, and writing. And I'm Paula Nowak-Droog, and my passion is helping others navigate stress, reclaim their joy, and just feel good each day. So these were the creators of this bioenergetic wellness tool.
And I would like to introduce our special guest tonight. First of all, our book was inspired to our community outreach and advocacy with Can Be Well, but also through our work as Canadian ambassadors with the Jessie Lewis Choose Love movement. And our special guest tonight is Alexis Kukot from the Jessie Lewis Choose Love movement. She works as a professional in the nonprofit sector and oversees the operations of the Jessie Lewis Choose Love movement, a nonprofit dedicated to helping children and adults to manage their emotions, be resilient, and have healthy relationships through next generation social emotional learning programs. Combining her passions of educational equity and bettering society through compassion-based learning, Alexis aspires to extend these practices into higher education, reaching the next generation of leaders and inspiring them to lead with love and compassion. She's currently pursuing a master's in education entrepreneurship at the University of Pennsylvania, where she hopes to make these goals a reality. Welcome tonight, Alexis.
Thank you, Natasha, and thank you all for having me tonight. I am so happy to be here, and I am so supportive of this new book. It's very exciting on how fast this came together with the masterminds together here. It's so amazing to see this great work, and I know it's going to have such an amazing impact in Canada and the US and beyond. Just a little background on the Jessie Lewis Choose Love movement. Our organization was founded by Scarlett Lewis shortly after the Sandy Hook tragedy, one of the worst mass murders in history that happened in December 2012 in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Scarlett lost her beloved son Jesse in the shooting, and shortly after his death, she went back to her house and she found this message that read, "Nurturing, healing, love," on her kitchen chalkboard, and it really made her take a few steps back and think, what do these words really mean? What was my boy trying to tell me? Definitely really powerful message, and that Jesse has spiritual awareness to him. And this kind of put Scarlett on this venture to learn more about what these words mean. And it prompted her to meet a bunch of people, including a doctoral professor. And it came to be that these words all connect through the word compassion. And it created, she created the Choose Love formula, which is courage, gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion in action. And these 4 values she got from that message, and she researched them, and she learned on how powerful they can be. And if they can be taught, and if they are taught, they really can have a major impact on a child and also adults' education. And this kind of took her all over the world, spreading this very positive message about how we can choose love and how we can choose how we respond to situations. We can't choose what happens to us, but we could choose how we respond. And she took these words, she took this formula, and she started really inspiring audiences throughout the world. And then it got in the hands of educators, and then the Choose Love for Schools program was born. And now that program's taught throughout the United States and in 110 countries. And just recently, we've had a great explosion of growth in Canada, and that leads us to have met these lovely ladies here tonight that have helped to spread the word and the message and the programming far and wide. And now there's so many connections between what we're doing at our nonprofit and Can Be Well and your individual interests. There's so much alignment and synergy that just makes perfect sense to collaborate. And we've had great fun the past several months in fundraising for the Choose Love movement in honor of Jesse's birthday, and offering these amazing tools to our students and our teachers. So really just all boils down to that we have this power of choice, and that even though life might be challenging, we all experience pain, suffering, we're all connected in the need and want to love and be loved. That's why I'm so proud to partner on this project and really bring it in simple terms, but still powerful. And I'm going to pass it over to Tanya, who's going to start us in some of these practices that we can implement in our daily lives.
Thank you so much, Alexis. So I'm going to chat about one of the tools in the book. And Alexis talked about the Choose Love formula, and one of the pieces of the Choose Love formula is compassion in action. And I feel that one of the ways that we can demonstrate compassion in action is to pay attention to our own stress, so that when we pay attention to our own stress, we can respond when we're feeling stressed and find ways to lower our stress so that we can give from a full cup. And so the book talks about some of the ways to assess stress, and I'm just going to chat about a couple of them. One of the ways to assess our stress is to just check in with our body and notice our breath. And we call this breath awareness. So just take a moment and just breathe in. And notice, is your breath here and shallow and just kind of get stuck in your chest? Or does your breath go down into your belly and reach deeper? And I don't know about any of you, but being on Zoom so much in the last year and a half, sometimes I start to go and cough because I haven't been breathing deeply, and my breath can become very shallow. So just one of the ways of assessing our stress is to be aware of our breath and then to take a moment and breathe. And another way that we can assess our stress is to just turn our head and see how far can you turn it. And then if you do one of the other tools that we're going to talk about in a few moments with the other presenters. So let's just say I breathe again. Deep into my belly. And then I look again. Turn my head again. And already I can turn my head a couple more inches because I've tuned in, paid attention, responded. And touching your toes is the same kind of idea. Instead of turning your head, you touch your toes and see how far you can go. But I didn't think that was something I wanted to do on the video tonight. I didn't really want to share the top of my head, you know. However, it is a great way to see how your body's moving, and a lot more fun than sitting in a chair on Zoom like right now. And of course, monkey mind is just noticing the thoughts that are going through our mind. At what speed is the distractions in there? You know, have I done the dishes? Is the laundry done? Do I have gas in the car? How am I going to pay my phone bill? Why did that person say that to me? Why did my friend not smile on the bus this morning? So many things that can just distract us. And that's another way to be aware of stress in our bodies and our beings, is just to stop for a minute and remember that we can change the station, or we can choose to focus outside of ourselves in nature, which some of the other presenters will probably talk about this evening, and we also talk about in the book. So now I'm going to turn over to Michelle.
So I want to talk a little bit about goal setting and intention. And one of the things at Can Be Well and working with bioenergetic wellness is identifying what are the key pieces that our organization and the tools we use have to offer everyone else that's different. Why are we different from some of the other tools you might choose to use? One of the big tools that make a difference is between goal setting and setting intentions. And some people do that. They pick affirmation cards at the beginning of the day. They have a phrase that they like to live by. But what we're looking at here is, what is it you really want? And being able to imagine it, bring in awareness of all the senses, and then know what is your roadmap to get to that place. When you use some of the tools that are in the book to shift the stress level, as Tanya was explaining, then the energy starts to glide towards that goal, and it becomes a flow and an ease to get towards that vision, which is a little bit different than I would really like something, and then I'm going to work really hard to get there. Instead, you set the vision and you make everything come together in a package, and it just lifts you into the space that's going to guide you towards what that vision is. So Tanya asked you to turn your head. So I'm going to ask you now to do the auditory enhancer, which is you're just going to take the opposite hand across to your ear, and it could be from behind if you want. It could be the same side if that's where you're able to reach. And what we're going to do is we're just going to unroll the ear from the top, going around the edges, and just give a little pull all the way down. And we're going to do it again, but just go a little bit further into the ear with a gentle tug. And then the third one, coming down, it'll go a little bit deeper into the ear. So you'll notice that your ear will heat up. It may turn red, and that's a sign the circulation is in there, but you've also stimulated all the way through the body. So let's just do the other side. I'm just going to come around and then pull a little bit more, and then a little bit deeper. And now if you take and turn your head, as you did when Tanya asked you at the beginning, just turn now and see if there's a little bit more ease. And as with the deep breath, you notice that it shifted a bit. Now you'll probably notice it's shifted more. That's how the tools work. And if we'd set our goal with an intention at the beginning, maybe there's something that you've wanted to do, then you could unroll the ears, and that energy is all going to go towards what that vision is. Also listed here is cross crawls, and that is where you put your hand to your knee. And as Tanya said, it's a little bit difficult on the screen tonight in the space that we're in. So today I chose the auditory enhancers, but the cross crawls are listed in the book, and we're very happy to have you try and play with those because they do make a big difference as well. And so I pass the torch forward.
I love these tools. You know, what I found was on the weekend, I was experiencing a really high level of stress. And I thought, I've got tools in my toolkit that can help me relieve the stress. And I want to share with you just a couple of them right now. So one of my favorite is the neurovascular calming points, and they're also known as emotional stress release points. So I'm going to invite you to take your hands, and we're going to, first of all, actually, just before we do that, to assess your stress level right now. So 1 would be low stress, 10 would be high stress. Where are you in this moment? And then we're going to use this great tool called emotional stress release. And what we're going to do is take our fingertips and we're going to place them just above the pupil of our eyes, partway between. We're going to lightly hold. And I'm just going to invite you to hold very lightly, like ultra light touch. And you can either have your eyes open or closed. And we're directly above our eyes, focusing on the breath. We're going to hold this for a few moments. These points are calming to our nervous system, to our body. These are great for reducing the fight, flight, freeze response. So it helps to bring our nervous system back online. I invite you to hold lightly. And what we're doing is we're stimulating the prefrontal cortex, and it helps us to deal more effectively with stress. So as you're holding lightly and focusing on the breath, I invite you to bring your stressor to mind. So whatever it is that perhaps is causing some stress, and it can be something as little as cleaning up the kitchen or cleaning up your room. And as you focus on that stressor, holding these points lightly, just notice, what do you hear? Continuing to breathe and holding lightly, what do you see? Noticing, what do you sense in your body? And what do you feel? And I invite you to bring your hands down for a moment to your lap and just come into awareness now. What is your stress level now at this point in time? Did it decrease a little bit by holding on to these emotional stress releasing points? And if it hasn't released a little bit, continue to hold lightly and to breathe. I want to show you one other point before we move on. So we do know that water is really important, to have water throughout the day to help to hydrate us, to move the energy, and just to give us energy to feel good. We focus on the breath, different grounding and centering exercises, but I thought for a moment we would take the heel of our hand and place it on the center of our chest, on our sternum. This is called the Sea of Tranquility. And if you'd like, you can place your other hand below your navel. And we're going to focus on the breath for 3 or 4 breaths. Again, these are great things to do to calm your nervous system, to calm your body, calm your mind, and to support your learning. So if it's comfortable to close your eyes, just noticing the breath as you gently and lightly hold these points. And again, just noticing, how do you feel in your body? Has your stress level reduced a little bit more? Know that you can use these tools throughout the day or at night whenever you need a little bit of calm, relaxation, and balance in your life. And I'm going to pass it forward now to Natasha.
Thank you, Paula. That was lovely. I love those points because they're so amazing. Like for me, I can feel the tension let go in the shoulders, which are always tight, but also that my feet really become grounded and flat on the floor. It feels like they're sucked to the floor. Like I have suction cups on my floor, on my feet, and I'm just stuck here in a good way. And breathing becomes deeper, and I feel more here. That's the biggest part, right? I'm more grounded and here. So I want to talk today about infusing objects with energy, and that's another compassionate act that we can do for others. We have the ability to infuse, and I take Eric here, my little reindeer or whatever you want to call it. We have the possibility and the great ability to infuse our intention into objects. So if I would have a child here that has trouble sleeping, for instance, is not calm, is upset, whatever, I can infuse calming energy into that animal by just setting the intention to provide that. And this is a compassionate action that my intention is really to bring the calming state to that child, and my intention will flow energetically into that object. And it can be socks, for instance, it can be any kind, it can be a shawl, anything you give somebody else or you do for yourself. And it's so easy by just putting your hands on it. I have my hand on the chest and on the back, and all I do is, I think, calming, soothing words, pictures, if you can. The process is different for everybody, but basically it's so easy. It's just think you will provide love, healing, calming, peace, whatever you want to give the other person or gift the other person, say it this way, and offer the other person, and then you hand it over and you let it go, and you step away, and they can take from that whatever they need, whatever they want, but you will get different reactions than just handing a stuffed animal to a child or another person. The feel of it will be different. And even if you receive one, you will see there's a difference. If you want to play with it, take 2 socks and infuse one with bubbling water and the other one with the sunshine, calm and peace, something very soothing, and then put them on your feet and just tie into, and you can mix them through before so you don't know which is what, but just tie into the sensation that these 2 different socks provide to you, or hand them somebody else and have them experience it. It's quite astounding what you can perceive in that and what comes back. And just open your mind and be open for anything. It can be a smell, it can be a sound, it can be anything. And that shows the power that we have with our intention to provide somebody else with what they need and offer to them, and they can choose them to take it. And that leads me to the next person, which is Michelle again, I guess. Or Alexis, I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Alexis, would you be kind enough just to talk briefly about the Choose Love formula?
Of course, yes. And thank you all for those amazing practices. It felt great to kind of go through some stress I was dealing with on a little bit of a manic Monday. So I appreciate the de-stressing after a busy day. So thank you for that. Just to recap, as you can see here, the Choose Love formula starts with courage. We start with courage because you really need courage to begin any of this. This might be new to some of you, it might not be, but in starting anything new and definitely to set that intention, you need to have that courage to step outside your comfort zone in order to get to the other character values. So that's we start with courage. And then the next one is gratitude. And gratitude, that's being thankful for what you have and for saying that maybe things aren't perfect right now, and that's okay, but there is something to be grateful for, and bring yourself to that present moment. Kind of finding that little nugget of something that brings you joy, and maybe it's something big, maybe it's something small, but in order to shift your mindset to something that's a grateful thought over an angry thought can really do a lot to help you. And then forgiveness. Forgiveness, it may seem like a lofty topic for many. However, in our Choose Love for Schools program, we've heard from many students across the world that forgiveness is their favorite component. And that's because forgiveness is a superpower, they say, because you're able to let it go and something that doesn't serve you anymore. That doesn't necessarily mean that you forget or that you condone, but you're detaching yourself from someone who is causing yourself pain. And when you're telling them that, you know, even though you might have hurt me, I'm not going to hold on to this negativity and pain anymore. And sometimes you have to forgive yourself. And that all culminates in compassion in action. So we say that compassion is the action component, that you need empathy. You need to understand what someone's going through and understand their suffering. But then compassion is doing something about that, stepping outside yourself to alleviate someone's pain. And all together, we say that's how you practice choosing love, that love can be practiced as we just experienced tonight. And it can be very powerful when done all together. And sometimes, you know, it might just be shifting your thoughts a little bit, and that's okay. And sometimes you can practice all the elements together. But together, they make for a pretty powerful formula that can transform your life. It's transformed schools, entire communities, and can be for anyone and everyone. Doesn't matter your age or gender or anything, that everyone can choose love in all aspects of their life.
I'm going to step in here. Thank you, Alexis. I'm just going to bring out the book so you can see. If you just back it up, Tanya, just for a moment. I'm just going to continue with the formula for just a second. But I wanted to just bring awareness to going into the book and to page 19 and 20, which is where we talk a little bit about the Choose Love formula within the book. And what is present there are two cycles that come from the 5-element theory from Chinese medicine, which is we have these elements, fire, earth, metal, water, wood, that has a flow to it. And with all of our exercises, we're building flow. And as I was talking about with setting your intention and your goal, you're creating that flow with Choose Love. You're choosing to use those components of the formula and to create flow to being able to choose love. In the book, we have sign language, and that is movement action, which is my background, but using sign language to actually transform how somebody's feeling. So I thought perhaps you might like to try one of the cycles. So there's a nurturing cycle and a stabilizing cycle. And so if you'd like to just join me, let's do this, and we're going to play with the formula. So I'm going to put it in the order of the 5 elements. Which is a little bit different than how it's written there. But we're going to take the AOK fingers, and you're going to bring those fingers around and cross your heart. And then we're going to go to compassion in action, which is your fingers are just going to, the middle finger drops just a little bit, and your hands, they do like a wave. So you can go forward, or when I'm dancing and I'm putting it in a dance movement, then it tends to kind of go on a side to side a little bit. All right, and then we go to forgiveness. So your left hand, the palm is up, and then your right hand is just going to go out to the fingertips and slide through. And I do this with music, and I do it putting some moves in between all of these actions. Okay, now we need some courage. So we're going to take bear claw hands, and we're going to put those to our shoulders, and then we're going to take butterfly fists. Those are fists that have space in between the fingers that allow you could hold on to a butterfly and you wouldn't squish it. So you've got courage, comes up like that. And the last is gratitude, and you can pass it forward. And that brings us back to Choose Love. And that is our nurturing cycle. So that's one of the exercises you can use to create some calm. We have a free ebook that is available. So the copy of the book you can find at canbewell.org. It's on the blog, or you can also find it on our main page. There is now a button there that says free ebook. So you can just click on there and it's there for you. ChooseLoveMovement.org. They also have a copy there that you can pull from there. And then you'll be able to also go through the Choose Love Movement website and see all the incredible free resources that are available for you. Nolative.com is another collaborative project that CanBeWell is working with for an upcoming summit. And so you can find this at nolative.com. And this actually is a project, the book was a project that came about as a conversation between Nolative and CanBeWell. about how to reach out to the public and how to share these tools so people would know what we're up to. And the Global Healing Alliance, which works with Akamai University, is supporting all of our initiatives as well, and you can see lots of different resources on their website. Ebook and hard copies can be available from the authors. And for anybody wishing to use this for a classroom kind of setting, they want to teach a workshop, it has a little quiz in the back so that you could go through the book and then people could finish the quiz at the end. If there's something like that that you'd like to be using this book for, then there is a distributor price, and we welcome you to pass this knowledge forward. We don't want to hold on to it. It's not our knowledge. It's coming from many different disciplines, and we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to get a little bit acquainted with those different disciplines. I just thought I would include who those might be, and it's in the front of the book. So we are the Atlantic Therapeutic Touch Network is representing Therapeutic Touch. We have Natural Bioenergetics, we have Muscle Tuners, Brain Gym Canada, and then we have Can Be Well, our organization. So we hope that you'll find the resources very helpful.
These simple and powerful self-care tools that we share in this book, in this resource, they're easy, they're effective, and they enhance our wellness and well-being. And we can utilize these tools, as I said, throughout the day to enhance and support our self-awareness, self-regulation, our social emotional learning. It's just great ways to calm our nervous system and our body, and just to connect body, mind, and heart. These tools enhance our wellness and well-being, and we invite you to check them out. So know that it's part of a larger program. If you want to find out a little bit more about each of us, our information is listed there. Each of the 4 authors, myself, Tanya, Michelle, and Natasha. And we have also created a card deck with these beautiful tools on it. And yeah, Michelle, let me go grab my card deck here. Here we go. Did a little bit of a dance there. So here is the card deck, and we have created this card deck to also highlight these beautiful tools. And if you'd like to learn more about the card deck, the information is on there. It's in the cards. As well, there's information about the Choose Love tea and the honeybee tea, and it's listed there. And there's affirmations and cards for the body and biofield card deck, and you can find out a little bit more about that. And then we're going to open it up.
Beautiful. So I just thought I'd mention about the tea, and the tea kind of was an inspiration that came as all the tools were coming together. And honeybee is made with apple, hibiscus, rosehip, vanilla, honeybush, and ginger. And it has a little bit of a lift, and it helps with clarity and focus. And just if you need that,
And it is delicious. It is delicious.
Very yummy. Yes.
in the heat, we've been
When-
doing it as an iced tea rather than as a hot tea, and it's made such a difference. And we have affirmations on it. So when we're talking about goal setting, there are some different phrases that you can say while you're drinking the tea, so you can set your goal and kind of imagine where you want to go with it.
The tea was amazing to create that, because when Michelle came with the base and we're testing and going back and forth, and then it needed a little bit oomph, and she put that little bit oomph in, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. That's the tea, because it was like, just you put it in your mouth and it's like, yay, it's the uplift, it's everything is in there. The honeybee is amazing. The Choose Love is lovely, and it's heartwarming. So both of them are really, really great teas.
I love the connection of all the five senses too, that it's not just that you're feeling it, but you're tasting it. You can smell it. You can even hear the teapot whistle. So I love that you're bringing in all the elements, and you're now experiencing everything on such a higher and deeper level too.
That was one of the biggest things happening in this time, that the awareness was created and awareness became bigger, and all of us grew so much, and the knowledge was so big. It was always there, but it was never put in one place. So the book right now is that place to go to have the basics and have the essentials, and have just, it's not even a big book, but it's mighty. It's a mighty book.
I think one of the key things too, from the Can Be Well perspective in bioenergetic wellness, is that one of our key tools is biofeedback. And some of us use muscle monitoring to do that. But what we've discovered is to put it into the lay person's hands for kids to use it, is just to have that awareness, use the senses, start to really understand your intuition, know what you're feeling, acknowledge those feelings and emotions, and being able to identify what is supporting you and knowing where you need to go, or energetically what feels good. And then we have the biofeedback comes in. So it's really helped us to articulate what are the best ways of us knowing how to take care of ourselves and advance that knowledge for ourselves.
And self-awareness is such a key piece to our wellness and well-being, and also for self-regulation. So it's a key piece for kids to learn and for adults to learn and to share with each other.
And I was thinking, the longer I do the work I do, and I've been in the counseling field for almost 33 years, I think that the simplest tools are the strongest and most powerful. We don't have to complicate things. Awareness, acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, gratitude, courage, noticing how we breathe, noticing how we move, noticing our thoughts, noticing our feelings, trusting the information we receive through our senses. The simplest tools are the most powerful usually, and thankfully they're also practical and accessible. And I think that anyone that can have the opportunity to have simple, practical, and accessible tools, that's the main reason I think why we created the book in such a straightforward and easy to understand format, because I think accessibility to me is very important. From the sign language to the photos to the straightforward language, I think, accessibility to me is so important.
I think that's a wrap.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
And if you need us, you have our contact information. So we are happy to answer any questions. Most of us are on Facebook, and you find us all on Linktree with all our information. So just come on and ask.
So as a traditional book signing and launch would go, we've got our pens ready. We're set to sign. And so on to our books. We have our very first launch. Thank you everyone for being with us.
Thank you, Alexis, for being here and sharing with us this joyous moment.
Yeah.
Without Choose Love, it probably wouldn't have happened that fast,
Yeah.
I would guess.
It's beautiful seeing all of you come together so quickly during a global pandemic, and responding to needs, and it's amazing. And I'm so excited for so many people to read and use this amazing book.
Thank you.
Bravo.